Yo, 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 what is going on, all of my beautiful, beautiful friends from the internet? It is so awesome to be with you here again on this beautiful Tuesday, and I hope each and every one of you is having an amazing day and looking forward to the rest of this blessed week. Now, again, sorry for last week's episode. It was kind of impromptu. I didn't get a chance to put it out on YouTube, which I will post it on YouTube. I got to get this one posted tomorrow, but I'll probably post that one a little bit, maybe a little bit later in the day or something. It's been traveling a lot, and I've been a little, it's been wacky here and there, so it's been hard to stay on schedule. We had a hard time staying on schedule with our other podcast as well. Just a lot of scheduling conflicts and traveling things, and it has been a little bit of a challenge, but that is okay because I'm here again with you guys for this blessed Tuesday. And unfortunately, I guess we can just hop right in. So, welcome to the Reddit Ask Us podcast, the podcast where we read and react to comments from r/Askreddit. I am your host, Luke Dick. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Remember to please rate us and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever else you listen to your podcast when getting some more reviews. Thank you all very much for sending in on those reviews and giving us your honest opinion. It's too bad Spotify doesn't have actual written reviews, because Apple Podcast has both. They've got you can give us a star rating and a review. Spotify, I believe it's only just number review, which is unfortunate. But remember that we don't I'll go through this first. Remember, if you have something interesting to say, or if you want to answer the question that is on this week's episode yourself, you can always comment under the most recent video on my YouTube channel at Reddit Asks Us, and I will read that comment out on the next week's following episode. We didn't have any comments from last week's episode only because I didn't post the video on YouTube. So I apologize, especially to my boy Vortex. I apologize for not getting that video out. I did get the podcast out, but just not the video. So anyways, why don't we just hop in and just take a little swan dive, a light little, take a light little dive into, not too deep, you know what I'm saying? Just a nice shallow dive, a nice cool coasting dive into this next episode and what we have here today for you folks. So without further ado, again, we look at Ask Reddit here. What did you try and found out it is not for you? This is an interesting one because, social media is tough nowadays because I feel like we see so much on social media and we see people do such a diverse amount of things, and I think it kind of, in a way, at least for me, it's pushed me to be a little bit more adventurous, maybe try things that I wouldn't necessarily try. I'm going to tell you the first thing that I've tried, and it is absolutely not for me: roller coasters. I hate them. I don't understand why anyone likes roller coasters. It's just, you're out of control. You're just moving around the whole time. I don't find them thrilling at all. I just don't understand the appeal. I get nervous and anxious on a roller coaster. They are so not something I'm interested in doing. Just not my thing. I don't get it. And I've gone on I wouldn't say a lot of roller coasters, but enough to know that I don't enjoy it. It's just being shoved in one direction to the other, and it's just, I don't know, not a thrill for me, not something I'm too terribly interested in doing. But I think people feel a general pressure, because there are a lot of people out there who are adventurous, and who do like to try new things. And maybe your friends are like this too. But I think we can sometimes be pressured into doing something that we don't really want to do or don't necessarily like to do. But that is okay. You know what I mean? It's perfectly fine to not want to do something or not liking something. That's who you are. I mean, it is good to push yourself and get out of your comfort zone, but there is a line there, right? Because you might push yourself, get out of your comfort zone and do something, and you're like, oh wow, I really enjoy this. That was for me. That was when I first started playing basketball. I grew up never playing. And I never really touched a basketball like really legitimately until I was like 12 years old. And I had guys saying, "Oh, like, you know what, you should play." And I was like, "Oh, I'm terrible. Like, I don't know if I should do this." But everyone was kind of encouraging, and I was like, "Oof, all right." And then I tried, and it ended up being like a really profound thing for me in my life. It's a really profound love for me in my life. And so you really never know. So getting yourself out of that comfort zone is really important. So why don't we just hop into today's comments? So first one comes from oh my god, the first comment. This isn't technically the first comment. The first comment was literally like oh, intense. So this comment is also intense, but we're starting off kind of intense here. Infectuser, heroin. Tried it once for like 10 years. 0 out of 10 would not recommend. What does that mean? I tried it once for 10 years. I feel like that's a totally contradictory. I tried it once. I did it for 10 years, but I only tried it once though. Wait, how's that even possible? No, you know what I mean? Like, it's 10 years, you do it every day, right? But you only try it once. You only try it once. What? What is that? You tried it? I'm confused. I am very confused. But I don't know. I have no ambition. I'm glad people have recovered from their issues with substance abuse. If you have recovered from those issues, it's interesting. I'm a part of me is so fascinated with people's experience with substances, because it's like, to people turn to these states of altered consciousness, and then and a lot of times it really has a very negative impact on their life. But the story of how people get there is often interesting, right? And the lessons that people learn. But I can definitely believe the fact that it's probably not for you. Heroin is probably not for you. I don't really think it's really for anybody. Heroin doesn't really seem like one of those things where it's like, oh, I casually do heroin, Nothing beats just long week, just tired, a lot of work, just want to kick back, throw on a TV show, maybe get a glass of red wine, I don't know, call over the wife, get the wife, just relax, just kick back, maybe you get the old rubber band on the arm, get a couple of syringes, fill them up with a little heroin, just stick it right in there, just do that, and just, have a blast of a weekend, just rock out, you know what I'm saying? Just chillax, man, just, take it easy, I mean, you just can't really get the fact that it's addictive take control over you. You just can't, because then it's got you. But as long as you're doing your heroin in moderation, right? Anything's fine in moderation, right? So as long as you do that heroin in moderation, it is just it's a lovely, it's some lovely background noise when you're trying to just relax and have a good night, I'm obviously joking. Heroin, I don't really think is meant for most people. I don't know. I'm not an expert in. I think, is heroin an opiate? I'm not sure. I'm not an expert in opiates, but I definitely don't think it's built for everyone. Interesting. Next one comes from number 1 Baruista. Working in a daycare made me realize I love my kids, not all kids. Yeah, this is like, I feel like this is one of the most common things I discover from people. I seriously don't understand people who can just work with kids all day. Kids are so tough, man, especially like kids that aren't your kids, because when kids, like, there are some kids and they just are allowed to do whatever they want in their lives, and you cannot control those kids. Those kids will literally be like, fuck you, if you try to tell them to do anything, and how do you get through to them? It's just, I find personally, I can ease conflicts easier with adults than I can with kids. I don't know what to say. I don't know what I don't, and I suck at disciplining kids, especially kids that aren't my own. I feel like I'm just like, should I? This feels wrong. This feels weird. I don't feel like this is. You know what I mean? Like I don't feel like I'm getting anywhere. You know, have you guys ever heard of win-win? You know, compromise. You know, I mean, you got to teach those things to kids. You know what I mean? But they'll still be upset and they get. I mean, adults do this too, but just the temper tantrums, man, or the tantrums, kids tantrums is just like I'm so bad at dealing with that sort of stuff. I cannot deal with that sort of stuff. Whereas your kids, though, like, see, I'm not opposed to having kids myself, you know, because your kids, you can keep them in line, you know. Not saying you have to abuse your children, but you can discipline your children. You know what I'm saying? Which means you're stern with them. You let them know what flies and what doesn't, right? And you can feel comfortable doing that because they're literally a product of you, you know? So yeah, you got a little sway there. But in a lot of other senses, and like when talking about other people's kids, you really, I don't know, you don't have much leverage there, my friends. There's not a whole lot of leverage. Star Bell Baby Benna replies and says, I love kids. I'm great with them. Teaching preschool cured me of ever wanting to work with them again. Oh my God. You know what though? If you're somebody who likes working with kids, I could see how it would be refreshing to go out with adults, right? Because, you know, you spend all the energy that you have, you know, in your regular day with all these kids. Imagine that release, that comfortability once you're like, oh, finally an adult. And that would be like, I could see how that would be, you know, enjoyable. I mean, you love the kids so much, but, you know, if I ate spaghetti every single day, I'd get tired of spaghetti. You know what I mean? It's good to throw a little fettuccine in there. You know, fettuccine Alfredo. You know, a little margherita pizza. You know, something like that. You know, maybe some baby back ribs. That's what you want. Throw a couple of that stuff in there. You know, but maybe you just love spaghetti and you just like eating it. But you know, it never hurts to have a little bit of this or that in there. A little bit of bangers, a little bit of marsh, you know, a little bit of Vegemite. I don't know. I'm trying to think of British like foods. A little bit of potatoes. But yeah, like, oh. But I could see how somebody, I don't know. I could see. In Vodka Veritas replies and says, as a teacher of middle schoolers, I love my age group. Early on in my career, I taught first grade. It was sweet and adorable and full of hugs and love, but first graders always need you, and it's exhausting. Yeah, that's the thing is kids, they're so dependent, right? They're so dependent on people. Not that there aren't some adults like that too. God damn. Oh, gosh. Literally just watched the episode of The Big Bang Theory where Sheldon gets sick, and he literally like he ropes Penny into taking care of him, and Leonard and all the boys like all the guys don't want to take care of him because he's like so dependent on other people when he's sick. He's trying to get Penny to sing the song while rubbing VapoRub on his chest. It's like, you're a grown ass man, all right? Figure it out. If you get sick, handle it. But yeah, that's the thing is the kids are always so dependent. So to continue, middle schoolers, you can let them work for 20 minutes while you grade papers and only occasionally glance up, and they're fine. It's so much less stress teaching 12-year-olds instead of 6-year-olds. You just need a high tolerance for adolescent body odor and stupid slang words that make no sense. That is so true, though. Me and my friends in high school, man, we literally just like it's stuck with me today, and especially when I go and visit them. Like we basically, when we were in high school, and not so much because we already didn't know each other that well in elementary school, but once we got to high school in like the 9th grade, we spent so much time with each other. We literally just like created words, created slang words, like brand new words, just literally talked in our own language. We still do it today. Like even my friends like here in Halifax will start saying words that I like will say with my friends from back home because we just spent so much, effort into creating our own lingo and language. But that was fun, though. That was fun. I mean, it's like, I guess to an adult, when you see kids after year after year after year, it can get extremely annoying, but it's fun when it's in the moment. But yeah, I have much more patience for like, I don't know if I could do 12-year-olds. 12-year-olds are like, I don't want the puberty ages, bro. Give me something like, I don't even know. Give me like a grade 11 and 12. Give me like 16, 17, 18-year-olds. Like they're like, it's like on the end side of puberty. I don't want like 12-year-olds asking, they got these kids are asking questions. I don't want to teach, sexual education, like especially because as a grade 6 teacher, you got to teach that stuff to these kids. I don't want to teach that. It's awkward. It's weird. I'm not trying to listen. I think the information is important and kids should absolutely know it. I'm just saying I shouldn't teach it. It would be very awkward and weird. I want, the older age groups where people are chill, God, I couldn't do kids. My grade 8 teacher, well, I don't know. My grade 8 teacher was really cool. My grade 8 teacher was a really nice guy, and we got along really well. And he got along really well with everybody in the class, and yeah, I guess he was, that was a good job for him. But I mean, he treated us all like adults, which is what I liked. Anyways, let's move on. Cassie Cass 88 says, playing the guitar. My teacher straight up promised to give me an A if I didn't come to class anymore. Holy crap. It reminds me of that, like, there's this TikTok with this kid's like, it's like the kid who brings the guitar to the party. And he's like, I brought this little thing. And then he's like, he's like, da, 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 strumming. And he's like, oh, it's not tuned. Sorry. He's like, if I had my ukulele, I could play Riptide, but I just can't on this. Shout out to that Martin kid on TikTok because he's so freaking funny. But yeah, I wish I could play the guitar. I tried to learn how to play the guitar when I was a kid, but I had the worst teacher. It was like this teenager who like lived down the street from me, and he literally spent my entire guitar lesson like an hour just on his phone, and he would just like teach me how to play like Thunderstruck. Like he's like, just do this over and over, and I just sit there. I was like doing it, and he would just sit there on his phone. I was like, really? This seems a little. I have a feeling I'm being scammed here. Okay, I want to learn a little bit more to the guitar than Thunderstruck, but I find it so difficult. I know people who like learned how to play the guitar over the internet, like just guys who learned how to play over YouTube and stuff. I am so bad at that. I just can't. I don't know. I can't seem to learn from videos. Like I need to ask questions. I need to be there with somebody in person. Make it feel a little bit more tactile. It just makes more sense that way when somebody can like explain it to you. It feels weird with the YouTube stuff, but looks like for this person, looks like nothing really helped. I'm sorry you were so bad at playing the guitar. The guitar is such a dope. It's probably the coolest instrument, right? The guitar is definitely the coolest instrument. Piano's pretty cool. It's pretty sleek. It's all right. You can do a lot when you play the piano. But the guitar is just, damn. Nothing goes harder than just wailing on a guitar, seeing somebody just play and the sound of guitar. Who doesn't love the sound of guitar? And there's all different kinds of guitars, There's the acoustic guitar, there's electric guitar, you get all the pedals for them, you can make them sound super cool. You can't get a piano to sound like that. All right, next one comes from Blue Jim 7. Nightclubs. Grew up in a super religious house. So, excuse me. So I wasn't allowed to go. Then I moved out and found them super boring and overwhelming. You can't actually have a conversation. People seem to be acting to look cool and get laid, and it can get super expensive. The club scene, I don't know. I think it's like overhyped in culture, especially in like hip hop culture, like especially in high school. I feel like whenever I was like, because I listened to a lot of like hip hop music in high school, like mainstream hip hop music, and they always like glorify like going to the club, spending money and all this stuff, and you're like, wow, I want to go to a club, and then you go and you realize oh, the club is only fun if you're like super rich and you can hang out and get bottle service and, you know, pretty much just watch on the balcony and go and dance and do whatever you want in the private section. For the rest of people, for the peasants, it's just really sweaty and crowded, and you can't hear anything. Drinks are ridiculously expensive, and they get so freaking hot, man. I sweat so much, it's so embarrassing, and I love to dance, so I'll be like, and it sucks because in Canada, like it being so cold up here, like you'll have to in the wintertime if you want to go like out, or even in the like late fall, winter, and it's just, well, I guess most of the year is winter here, but if you want to go to the club, like you or something like that, you gotta like go in a coat, and then you get there, you do your coat check, but like it just, you most of the time you're wearing a couple layers on, and like coat check costs money, and if you don't want to do the coat check, you're wearing your sweater or your jacket in there, and you're sweating your ass off. Like it is not a vibe. It is not fun. But I particularly I sweat so much, like copious amounts of sweat whenever I'm dancing, and especially in hot areas. Like it's just an enclosed space like that, and it's like you smell people and their body odor, and it's like, ugh. It is. I like bars that have dance floors. That's like more fun to me, especially like a good bar. Like a good bar with a dance floor, I'm vibing. But clubs are like, it's just like, what's the point? Like I don't get it. I guess the point is to like go and like look bougie, but not do anything. It's just, and the one club here in Halifax, I'm not going to name it because I don't really think that I probably should do that, but the one sort of main club in Halifax plays the worst music. It's like, yo, oh my God, it's so painful going because it's like, this music is so terrible. It is so just not fun. It is not fun. And I feel bad because I guess you grew up in like a religious household that's all strict, and you're like, yo, I'm so pumped to go to the club, and you're like, this sucks. Trying to like dance, like, oh, this is really whack. This is not what it looks like in the movies or in the TV shows at all. And you're right, it's not. It's not. Absolutely not. It is a compellingly underwhelming experience, to say the least. Super Chap 81 replies and says, totally with you on this. Had a few girlfriends that always wanted to go, and I would be so bored unless it had a pool table or a game spot. The drain on the wallet was always the worst part. Yeah, but like what upscale clubs have games? I don't know. I don't think I've ever been to like an upper scale club that's like had games in it. Most of the time those are like bars. But the games are fun. I like the arcade bars are fun. There's a place in Edmonton, and I mean Edmonton's maybe not the greatest location to go, but the setup that they have there is pretty cool. It's this place called Beercade, and it's like a arcade sort of with young people and drinking and whatever. But it's very fun. It can be a fun place, especially because there's like something to do. You know what I mean? You can shoot basketball or, do skee ball or something like that, and that can always be fun. Bars with a pool, are very fun. We went to this we were in Toronto recently. We went to this there's this really strange bar, and the pool tables worked in like this weird way. There was no cue ball, and then we used the 8-ball, and then we sank the 8-ball, and there was no way we could get it back. So we were knocking each other's balls. It was whack. It was weird, but. Fanfare replies and says, honestly, the more important thing is liking the music. I don't get people who go to clubs and don't even like the genre they play. I'll go to the club alone if it's a DJ I like, and only chat with people in passing just to vibe. Also, quality musicians with quality musicians earplugs help. Yes, I guess so. Yeah, but you don't want to be the guy at the club with the earplugs on. Yeah, I'm just protecting my hearing. I really shouldn't be listening to anything over over at least 15 decibels. I totally forgot like where the decibel thing is, but yeah, like you don't want to be that. You don't want to be the guy's coming in with the earmuffs. He's like, "Yo, this is bussin'. This is a vibe. Totally vibing right now." What was all you hear? It looks like so weird. And you know what? You don't want to be the guy with the earplugs at the club though. That's whack. That's weird. But liking the music, absolutely. If you ever want to have fun, a fun night out, make sure you're going to a place that plays good music. Like, the music is what makes it fun. Dancing. Get on the floor and dance. Have a good time. All right. Why don't we hop into this next one from Kuroak Kid. A gay relationship. Always been kind of attracted to men, so went out on a couple dates with men that were so-so. Finally hit it off with the guy, tried sexual stuff, and immediately not into it. Oh my God. Turns out I like looking at good-looking men, and it stops there. It was weird. That is so awkward. Oh my God. It's like, yeah, I'm not into this. I'm not vibing right now. We're going to have to wrap this up. Yeah. Sorry about that. Sorry to get you hyped up, but I'm definitely not into this. But yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with this is a stupid stigma, okay? This is a stupid stigma that men cannot what's the word I'm looking for? That men cannot evaluate other men and their attractiveness level. You absolutely can. And I think there's a lot of dudes who are like, you know, it's like you see attractive men and, you know, and like, oh, that guy's a good looking dude. He's like, what, are you gay? What? Why would you say that? Seriously, bro? You're really just going to say that out in the open like this? It's like, bro, yes. Who cares? It's a stupid stigma. Every human has the ability to tell whether another human being is attractive or not. If you don't think so, then you're being homophobic or you're suppressing something. Because, bro, yeah, you absolutely can tell the attractiveness of you're human. But then again, you know, I think that's the problem, is that we're so not accepting of the fact that people can notice each other's attractiveness. So then guys feel like, oh, am I gay? And then guys will push that down, and it's like, no, I couldn't be gay. You know, it's like I can't be gay. And it's like, maybe you're not gay. Maybe you just don't just like conflate the gayness with thinking that men are attractive. Straight men and human beings can find other human beings attractive, regardless of whether they're, you know, male or female or whatever they identify as. They're people. We're people. We're attracted to other people. You know, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're gay. You know, like that's just I think that assumption in and of itself is just, you know, goes to show that, you know, we have to be more accepting of accepting each other and you know, being accepting each other's attractiveness, because you absolutely can tell. You absolutely can tell. And don't bullshit me. You know, that's just, unless you're like, maybe like you're asexual or something. But yeah, that must have been very weird to be in that situation, just being like, sorry, bro, not really my thing. My bad. We got a reply from the Bacon Van Man. I feel that. Made out with a guy while I was drunk once and was like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I could do this. Feels like lips. And then he started to reach down my pants and I flipped. Immediately, the lid on that idea and shut. And I am now 101% straight. Can say with absolute confidence I'm straighter than a guy who's never kissed a dude, because I know I'm not into it. Retribution replies and says, I feel you, bro. Well, I don't feel you, but you know what I mean. I'm not trying to feel. I'm not saying feel you up. I'm just saying, you know, I feel. I get what you. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Not that you're putting down anything that I I shouldn't pick up, because that's not what I meant. I didn't mean like, if you're putting something down, I'll pick it up in a platonic sense. Maybe because I don't want to pick it up if you're putting down something that you want to put down, but I might not be into putting that or picking that up. I applaud you for putting it down, but maybe I don't want to pick it up. I'm just saying I'll pick it up platonically. A friend pickup. You drop something, I'll pick it up. How about we do that? As a friend, I'll pick up what you're putting down as a friend, right? So I added a little bit onto that. I was ad-libbing there a bit. T Pitch replies and says, "Who is in the right when they say they don't like the broccoli? The guy who has never tried it and says he doesn't like it, or the guy who has tried it and confirm he doesn't like it?" This is a fact. I don't know how to feel about this. I'm like, part of this analogy is like, I could see that. I see your argument here, but do I really have to kiss a guy to know that I'm not gay? Maybe to know. Maybe to for sure know. Maybe you have the intuition that you're not gay, but you can't for sure know until you've actually put yourself in like a position where you like kiss a dude and you're like, no, not for me. Not my cup of tea. Not really my thing. But we're having this argument. I was having an argument with my friends recently about whether they would eat Popeye's shrimp. Now, it's like, my one friend was like, Popeye's shrimp will give you E. coli or some disease. And we were like, and he's like, and it's got to be gross. And we're like, well, how can you be sure it's going to give you a disease? What makes Popeye's shrimp any more dangerous than any other shrimp you get at any other restaurant? Don't you eat shrimp? Like, isn't shrimp raw? I don't even think shrimp is cooked. Like, they deep fry it, don't they? Like, I don't know. I think we're being a little skeptical on the Popeye shrimp here. And I told him, I was like, if we go to Popeyes and I buy you a shrimp, and I buy you shrimp at Popeyes, and you eat it, then you can give me your true opinion on it, whether or not it gets you sick. I'll believe you. But how can you say Popeye shrimp is not good or is going to give you some sort of disease if you've never tried it? All right. So, I see where you're coming from. I totally see where you're coming from. Let's see. What else do we have here? Let's read off maybe a couple more comments. So, Happy Star says, being active on social media, I prefer to keep to myself and not share my life online. Yeah, I think that's becoming like a thing. Like, I know people who've like had Instagram for years and then just like deleted it, or had social media for years and then just realizing like, why do I have this? Personally, I think if you have a healthy relationship with social media, part of me thinks that I don't know if there necessarily is always a healthy relationship with social media, but I think if you try to have a good relationship with social media, you don't put too much weight on it, and it can be an enjoyable thing. Like, I think I get a lot of my daily laughter from social media because most of the pages I follow are basketball pages and meme pages. And that's what I see mostly on my Instagram feed is mostly just memes. And I think it just makes me laugh. I like to laugh. I like to see something funny. Right. And, but yeah, I can also see like, there are some people's Instagram feeds who are just filled with people. I don't get that. I don't get that. It's like, why? Why do I need to know what this random person is up to? I like posting on social media, but I don't care if other people don't care about what I'm posting. I like to post it because I like taking cool pictures. I like fashion. I like clothes. It's fun for me. and like, I think pictures and stuff when they're taken, properly can be a form of art, and you want to share that and put that out there. But do I expect other people to give a shit? No, of course not. I don't expect other people to give a shit. If I did, that would be arrogant. But I can totally understand why if you don't feel like you have anything to provide for social media, don't even bother. Why? Yeah, what's the point? I know lots of people who don't have social media, and there's no reason you should feel ashamed about that. And don't feel like you're missing out or that, should pressure you into, oh, come on, you got Instagram, you got to get blah, 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 blah. Do what you like, all right? Do what you like, all right? All right, you get me, okay? Maybe one last one, something you tried and find out maybe it wasn't for you. And OK Experience 9119 says cocaine and bungee jumping. I'm skeptical of this response only because your name is OK Experience. So really, maybe you're lying to us. Maybe it was an OK Experience for you. You should send me nudes. Oh my God, you should send me nudes. Replies and says at the same time. OK Experience says individually, but maybe. No, I'm pretty sure I would just die. Yeah, cocaine and bungee jumping are, I don't know. Bungee jumping is a very weird thing. I don't know if I have much ambition to want to do bungee jumping, but it's just free falling like that. You gotta trust an elastic rope. Eek. That's a lot of trust. That's a lot of trust, my friends. Too much trust for me. Also, I don't want to put my trust in cocaine either, because cocaine doesn't sound very fun. All right, anyways, that's going to wrap it up for today, folks. Remember, thank you so much for listening to today's episode. This is the Reddit Ask Us podcast, where we read and react to comments from r/Askreddit. I am your host, Luke Dick. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Remember to leave us a rating, and also please leave us a review if you're watching on, or if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever else you get your podcasts. If you want to have your comment read out, go to my YouTube channel at Reddit Asks Us and comment on the most recent video, and I'll read your posts on the very next week's episode. I love each and every single one of you. Thank you. I love you. Goodbye.